Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Lauren Walker from Inman, and I'm really excited today to talk about something that I've seen our audience get very excited about because we had quite a year in 2019. There was a lot of change, a lot of the buzzword disruption. And so as we go into 2020, we wanted to kind of level set and talk to people who have their finger on the pulse of what's happening, who are doing really exciting things. And that's why I'm really happy to sit down today with Laura Ellis, who is Senior Vice President of Residential Sales at Baird and Warner. Laura, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. Happy to be here.
Okay, well, fabulous. We are going to talk kind of big picture today because we're talking about vision. And, if there's one thing that I've seen from Baird and Warner, pardon me, it's that there's a really clear vision, and I'm really excited about what you guys are doing. So, do you want to just dive right in? I mean, how are you putting together your vision for 2020 based on what happened in 2019?
Sure. Well, in retrospect, 2019 was an incredibly interesting year to say the least.
Yeah.
And you're right, it's been talked about as a year of disruption. And we monitor changes very closely all the time. Baird and Warner's been around for a really long time, 165 years.
Oh my goodness.
And so we've seen the industry evolve and change in all kinds of different ways. So we really are on the cutting edge of watching all this stuff. But as I looked back over the year, yeah, some will call it disruption. I really call it distraction.
Mm.
Because what we're seeing right now as we're moving into 2020 is really a reaffirmation that the vision we've set forth at Baird and Warner really is sound and it's credible. And what that really comes down to, Lauren, is that this is a relationship people business. We are a real estate company. We use technology to enhance the experience for our agents and our customers, to make that experience easier. But, I know I'm going on and on here, but to back to your original question, we're really seeing 2020 shaping up already out of the gate, 2 months down, and it's reaffirming that our vision and our strategy is sound.
Yeah.
And we're excited about that.
That's good to know, to level set and validate the choices that you make. And 165 years. One thing that jumps out to me is the idea of a culture. How do you not have a culture after 165 years? How do you talk a little bit about that? What does culture mean at Baird and Warner?
Right. So culture at Baird and Warner really is about the individual. And when I talk about the individual, it's really centered around the experience that our broker associates have in the company and the experience that they have in transacting business and the experience they're delivering to buyers and sellers. Too often in our industry, as we're talking about the industry, I don't think we talk enough about the people that are actually transacting the business, the buyers and the sellers. And so the culture here at Baird and Warner is to make sure that we have the highest level of expertise and competency in our broker associates so that they can deliver that experience. People first. I'm sorry?
How do you do that? How do you make sure they have that?
Right. So it's a challenge, and it's a forever, everyday, ongoing focus and dedication to that. We have a couple of things happening in our industry. We have new people coming into the business who are a blank slate, and they need to be taught everything about the business. And then we've got our industry veterans, those tried and true proven professionals. So because the industry is changing, and when I talk about the industry changing, it's really being driven by what buyers and sellers want and what the research is showing us that they want. So we have to help those industry veterans stay abreast and modify and change their business so it aligns with what the consumers want. And then we also have to train the new people coming in on what's working today. So we're doing both of those things at the same time. One thing, and it doesn't sound all that fresh necessarily or innovative, but it's just a dedication to good old-fashioned training.
Mm.
We just embarked on what we're calling a year of training like none other. And we've partnered at Baird and Warner with Tom Ferry for a
Mhm.
whole year. He's actually coming in person to do
Wow.
2 events. One is this Thursday, but he's going to be here in person doing 2 events for our company, and then a series of conference calls and a number of other things, so that we can really make sure that our agent population has the tools that they need to deliver that experience to
Yeah.
the consumer. So that's one thing. The other thing that really plays into our culture is we are very intentional and clear-eyed about the fact that our sales managers, our branch office leaders, some companies call them, are non-selling, non-competing, and their number one job is to help the agents build their businesses and create the business that they want. And that doesn't necessarily mean selling $50 million in real estate. It could, and our managers are trained to show agents what they need to accomplish that. But it's also maybe an industry veteran is doing 10 million or 20 million in sales volume, 25, 30 transactions a year, and they want to have a more balanced, easier life.
Mm.
Our managers are trained to help them accomplish that.
Wow.
So, we want to train, we want to coach, and we want to continually evolve the company to meet the needs of the buyers and sellers. One interesting thing that we learned over the last year, because we invested quite a bit in research, is that a journey the company embarked on a very long time ago was one-stop shopping. So we own a title company, and we own a mortgage. We're a mortgage banker as well. So we have these companies, but the research from the consumer is showing that they want that one-stop shopping. So yes, we're in business to be profitable. We're in business to maximize revenue from all these businesses. But what we're finding is that having the one-stop shopping is giving the consumer what they want, and it's making our agents' job easier. So that really fits with our culture of doing what's right.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to ask you about that research because I know that's really, really important to the brand is looking at your consumers. What do they need? What do they want from you? Can you talk a little bit about technology and
Sure.
Baird Partner? Because,
Happy.
every other day there's something new coming out that's a silver bullet. But
Yes.
I feel like that's kind of a slippery slope for a lot of.
Oh, Lauren, I couldn't agree with you more. And, in the time that I've been in the industry, that has been something I would term also as a distraction. Now,
Hmm.
let me say, though, before I talk about it, at Baird and Warner, we are really keenly focused and interested in technology. We were one of the first real estate companies in the country to have a website.
Oh,
So
wow.
we've been very early adopters to technology, and we continue to watch and evolve and bring technology programs to our agents. But I'm going to be really clear, we are not a tech company. We
Hmm.
are a real estate services company. We help people buy and sell houses, navigate through increasingly complicated transactions. We look to technology to make those experiences more efficient and easier. And one of the things that we do here at Baird and Warner is we have a senior vice president of technology who is out there looking at vendors, looking at the shiny new objects and the new things, and vetting all of that and seeing if it fits in with our goals and our strategy. So when one of our managers or our agents come across something that looks like it could be that magic bullet, they
Hmm.
can hand it off to our senior VP of technology, and they will do all the research and see how it would fit in with our technology offering. So again, tech for us is about making the buyer, seller, and agent experience easier, more efficient. Now, we did roll out a whole new CRM and tech product last year that we're getting huge adoption. About 45% of our agents are actively engaging in this, and it's all about lead gen. So helping agents generate their own leads. And we really didn't have that before. And we're just super excited about it. So we're right now training agents as part of their business plan to
Yeah.
boost Facebook ads, to interact with clients on searches that we haven't been able to do before. And with the idea of driving more business to
Right.
them.
Right. That comes back to that whole idea of the life cycle, right? Of touching every touch of the consumer matters, should be an amazing experience. And that starts from the lead gen stage as well.
Exactly. One of the things I'm really excited about with this is, veteran agents that have been selling for a few years, they build up a book of business, a sphere
Mhm.
of influence, past customers. And we've always done a great job with giving them tools to stay in touch with people that they already know. It's been a little bit more challenging for new people coming into the business because they don't have that track record. They don't have that sphere of influence. And so, sort of the conventional thing would be, well, call everybody that you know, and we want everybody to do that, certainly. Go out and sit in open houses, put yourself in the way of as many potential customers as possible. But now, today, we have this tool where we can say to a brand new agent, do these things, boost some Facebook ads, create some squeeze pages, and they're generating leads that they can get up and running with immediately. So I'm real excited for the future for our new agents as
That's
well.
great. That's great. Something you said before really stuck with me is the idea of not disruption, distraction.
Hmm.
And I haven't heard anybody say that before. And so can you talk a little bit, because I think we're all, we have all these efficiency tools, but technology it can be a distraction. So how would you, or how does Baird and Warner help their agents
Right.
manage that distraction on a day-to-day basis?
So again, excellent question, and it is a challenge because there's so much flying at our agents all the time. Not just the technology, but there's new marketing products. There's all kinds of things. There's changes in the industry sometimes that they have to become very adept at. So we really tell them, focus on the most important aspect, which is make sure your skills and your expertise are second to none. Because today, consumers get so much information that by the time they're ready to be face to face with an agent, they're going to make a decision or a judgment very quickly on whether they're going to use that agent. So we tell all of our agents, experienced and new, make sure you're just the best you can be. You know your market, you know your market stats, so that you can speak very competently and professionally so that you can earn that business. But we tell them, really, the consumer is going to make a decision to work with someone based on trust and
Mm.
expertise. So again, and actually, let me press the pause button here. I've seen a lot of agents fail because they sat in their office and just practiced being good at technology and practiced or read or did, but they didn't get in front of buyers and sellers.
Mm.
And so back to what I talked about with our lead gen platform, my goal as president of residential sales is to make sure that we give agents, make it easier for agents to generate business, to give them opportunities to be eyeball to eyeball to potential buyers and sellers. If they've had the training, it's going to work out fine. They've got to get in front of people and they have to know what they're talking about, be competent, and take care of that client. And so that's a very wordy explanation about distractions, but we
Yeah.
constantly say that it's about the relationship. It's about the human being in front of you. There's all kinds of stuff out there about AI, and all that is fantastic. And I think it helps our agents do an even better job, and it's easier for everybody. But AI will not replace that human connection, the trust, etc. The real estate transaction has not gotten easier over the
Mhm.
years. It's only gotten more complicated.
Right.
And so I look at our agents as really being the translators of this, the of course negotiations and so forth to make sure that our customers get the best deal or transaction outcome that they want. But it all comes down to that human piece.
That's absolutely right. And it sounds like that's really kind of a philosophy, if you
Yeah.
will, for the brand, for Baird and Warner. And so how would you want prospective agents, whether they're brand new to the business or veterans looking to kind of make a shift, what do you want them to know about the Baird and Warner philosophy specifically?
I want them to know that at Baird and Warner, you're not alone.
Mhm.
We're very invested in our agents' success. I stand in front of our new agents, our new agent training program all the time, and I say your number one priority is to make sure that if you want to succeed, you're going to realize that. So yes, we're independent contractors in this business, which means you're captain of your own ship. But if you want a partner, if you want someone who's invested in your success, not just in the interview process, but throughout your entire career, then we're the place.
That's great. That's great. Well, we've covered a lot of ground as far as, what's in store for the brand, what you want agents to keep in mind. So for anybody watching today,
Mhm.
what are you hoping that they take away from this conversation? Because we've kind of been all over the place. We've touched on technology. We've touched on, growing your book of business if you're new. We've touched on deepening your relationships if you're an established agent. All of these things have to melt into a vision for 2020. So what would you say are the three big takeaways from today?
I would say number one, we have a saying here at Beard and Warner, and it's said through the halls and the offices all the time, and it's do the right thing.
Hmm.
Look inside. There are situations we find ourselves in as a company and making big company decisions, and then all the way to the agent managing through a transaction. And whenever we come to tough decisions, we ask everybody to really look inside. You'll find what the right thing is. So, number one, always choose to do the right thing. There might be a short term consequence to that may not be pleasant, but in the long run, it always works out. So, that's been our company philosophy. Just do the right thing for the people involved. Secondly, for anyone watching, I love our industry. Our industry, the sky is the limit. There is nothing, if you want to work hard enough and if you want it bad enough, you can achieve anything. I believe it's easier at Baird and Warner to achieve those things, but obviously I'm a little biased. And then what would be the third thing that I would say? Just do our industry a credit. Make sure that you invest in being the expert that you would want to serve anyone in your family.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's great. And think about, who has your back, because I keep thinking about what you were saying about that you're not alone, because this is a business of solopreneurs. And so
Yeah,
it's easy to think that you're on your own when in fact, you can have a team at your back that has your success in mind. So
so important.
anyway, well, that's wonderful. Thank you, Laura. Thank you for outlining that for us today. And I'm excited to see what you guys do in 2020.
Thank you, Lauren. It's been a pleasure.
Have a great day.
You too. Thanks.